Alright, welcome back. Algebra 1, Chapter 3 and 4 review. Let's do this. Number 1. Find the x and y intercepts. Remember, at the x-intercept, y is 0. At the y-intercept, x is 0. Now this is in slope-intercept form, so the y-intercept is 3, because we are given that y equals mx plus b. That's the slope-intercept. That's the y-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we'll make y 0. 0 is equal to negative x plus 3. We want to get x by itself, so I can subtract 3 from each side. We get negative 3 is equal to negative x. And then divide by negative 1, we get x is equal to 3. That's the x-intercept. Number 2. Use this equation to write an equation for the nth term of each arithmetic sequence. Now this is just plug and play. A1 is negative 4, D is negative 2, so we get A of n is equal to negative 4 plus n minus 1 times negative 2. Remember, this is a multiplication right here. When you replace a variable with a value, put it in parentheses. Then simplify. Always simplify your fractions and always simplify your equations. Distributive property here, we get negative 4 plus, this is going to be negative 2 times n, and negative 2 times 1 is positive 2. You can combine like terms here, so we get negative 2n, negative 4 and positive 2 is negative 2. So A of n is equal to negative 2n minus 2. I showed you an easier way to do this with a sequence. We can find the common difference d just by looking at these two numbers, saying what do I have to do to 21 to get to 15? Subtract 6. That is my variable term, 6 times the term number. Now I need to see what I need to do to negative 6 to get to 21, and that's plus 27. So that's a faster way to do that. If you want to write it out step for step, this is how that goes. Here's the formula. Plug in the first term, 21, and the common difference for d, and then distributive property gives me negative 6n. Negative times a negative is positive 6. Combine like terms, 21 plus 6 gives me 27. Number 4. Graph each equation. Use a straight edge and be precise. If you do not use a straight edge, if your graph looks like this, you're getting points taken off. Use a straight edge for your lines and a sharp pencil. Okay, several ways that you can graph this. You can leave it in standard form and find the intercepts by making the opposite value 0, or you can always put them into slope-intercept form and graph that. Put this into slope-intercept form. Solve for y, so subtract 5x from each side. And then we get 2y is equal to negative 5x plus 10. Divide by 2 because we want to get y by itself. And then we get y is equal to negative 5 over 2 plus 5. To graph this, 5 is the y-intercept, so I go up to 5 on the y-axis. From that point, I follow the slope down 5 over 2. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. Now if you've done the x and y intercepts, that's also what you would have gotten here. And then you get a straight edge, and you make a straight line through the points, not just to the points. Okay, make sure that line goes through those points, like so. Alright, solve this one for y. Remember that the negative goes with the 3y, so subtract 2x from each side. And then we get negative 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Divide by negative 3. Divide every term by negative 3. This cancels out. Y is equal to positive 2/3 x minus 2. So negative 2 is my y-intercept. So I go to negative 2, put a dot there, and then 2 over 3. From there I go up 2 over 3. This one, you could have also gotten your x and y intercepts. Would have worked in this case. Alright, there's my graph. Goes through the points. Finally here, get y by itself. Add 3x to each side. So I get y is equal to 3x minus 4. So my y-intercept is negative 4. And then my slope, remember, any whole number you can put over 1, up 3 over 1. This one you would have gotten a decimal or a fraction for the x-intercept, and that wouldn't have been very accurate when graphing it. Okay, now follow the slope. Notice up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1 should also go through that point right there. Write in standard form. Distributive property, boom, boom. Negative 3x plus 6. And then we're going to subtract the 6 on this side. Goodness, this is not looking pretty. Is equal to negative 3x plus 0, if you would. But this is in slope-intercept form, so now I want to get the x term to the other side. Plus 3x plus 3x. In standard form, we have 3x plus y is equal to 0. Over here, distributive property, we get 1/2 x plus 2. And over here, y minus 5. Now, you can keep going this way, or if you want, you can multiply by 2 up here. Okay, you can do that in the first step. Remember, you can do that right there, get 2y and 10, or we can do that later in our answer. I'll show you this way. Okay, so I need to get rid of the 2y here and the 5 on this side. Plus 5 minus, sorry, I said 2y, 1/2 x. Get rid of the 1/2 x. So this cancels out, plus 5 there. Now I have negative 1/2 x plus y is equal to 7. Oh, awesome. Alright, and then we want to make sure that our first term is positive, so we need to get rid of the negative. Also, we can't have fractions in standard form, so we need to get rid of the denominator. So we're going to multiply the entire expression by, negative 2, because I want to cancel out the negative and the denominator here. So that gives me 1x. Negative 2 times y gives me negative 2y. And negative 2 times 7 gives me negative 14. Alright. In slope-intercept form, remember that's y equals mx plus b. Through these, I want to find the slope. Okay, so the first thing you're always going to do is you're going to write m equals. Okay, figure out what the slope is. M equals. Same thing here. M equals. Go through. M equals. Alright, so here we go up 6 and up 2. 6 over 2 is 3. Okay, there's my slope. You have a point and a slope, point-slope form. Alright, parallel to this. Alright, in order to figure out the slope, I need to put that in slope-intercept form. Okay, I'm going to go through, put these in slope-intercept form for you, and then go on from there. So there we go. I've changed these from standard form to slope-intercept form. That way I can see the slope. Okay, then I can record the slope here is 4. The slope here is negative 3. Slope here is 1/4. And the slope here is 1/3. Now, if I want it to be parallel, then that's going to be my slope. If I want it to be perpendicular, remember I need to take the opposite inverse. So my new slope is going to be negative, because this one's positive, and this is 1/4, so negative 4. This one is going to be negative 3. Now I've got a point and a slope. Use point slope form. So put the 3 in for slope. Pick one of the points. Pick your favorite. Put x and y. Put x in for x1. 1. X minus 1. And then over here, y minus 4. 2 steps to go to slope-intercept form. That's distributive property. So 3x minus 3. And then next step is get y by itself. So add 4 to each side. And y is equal to 3x plus 1. And here are the rest of them. Remember, first step, plug in, next distributive property, and then get y by itself. Simplify, solve for y. Alright, write it in point slope form. Easy as plug and play. So take the negative 3 over 2, take the 5, put it in for y, take the negative 2, put it in for x. So here we have negative 3 over 2. y1 is 5. Remember to label your points x and y. That way you remember to put them in the right place. And that's it. Then this one we had to find the slope. So from 5 to 11 is plus 6. From 2 to negative 4 is minus 6. So that simplifies down to negative 1. Alright, and here's 15 and 16. Remember, when you have a negative coordinate, to change the negative to a plus. Alright. Correlation. Remember, we have positive correlation if we can tell overall the line's going up. If we can tell overall the line's going down, that's a negative correlation. So as x increases, y increases. So if this is positive and positive, overall positive correlation. If as x increases, y decreases, that's a negative correlation. If as x increases, we can't tell whether y is going up or down, then there's no correlation. So here, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, up, back down, down again. So overall, as x increases, x is the top value, we can't tell what y does. It goes up and down, so there's no correlation. No correlation there. You could graph this. That scatter plot would look like this. You can see there's no correlation. Alright, 18, 19, 20. Y equals mx plus b, write it in slope-intercept form. So if you have the slope and the y-intercept, mx plus b, y equals 7 over 2x minus 3b. Just remember, slope is m, y-intercept is b, mx plus b, so it's just a matter of plug and play. Alright. Here we have an icicle. It is 12 inches long. So it starts at 12 inches and then it melts. That means it disappears, goes away at 4 inches an hour. So minus 4t. So the length of that is 12 minus 4t. But that's not in slope-intercept form. So we need to rewrite that and we get negative 4t plus 12. Same thing here. He charges $2 plus 0.15 per mile. Okay, but that's not in slope-intercept form, so we have to rearrange that, and we get B. Alright, write each equation in standard form. Distributive property, the negative goes to each of these. That gives me negative x minus 1, y plus 3. We need to move x to the left side, so add it. We need to move 3 to the other side, so subtract it. We get our variable terms on the left, starting with x, and it has to be positive, a constant on the left. Alright, write it in slope-intercept form. Distributive property, and then get y by itself. Alright, distributive property, get y by itself. There you go, answer is D. And finally, number 25, we want to see whether there's any correlation. As the price increases, as this increases, the quantity sold, how many people are buying it, goes down. So as the price increases, quantity sold decreases. That is a negative correlation. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck on the test. Remember to practice, practice, practice.